Neuroencoding gives you back this spark, and it's used everywhere. It's not only with individuals, we use it in companies as well. It assassinates the complexity of life effectively.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. My guest today is a feisty, fantastic lady who I listened to when she was speaking at an event recently, and she just blew me away. And I want to find out how she learned how to speak like that. That's part of the reason why I have her here, but there's many, many other reasons. She is a multiple award-winning coach. She is a leader and senior transformational trainer. She's a million things. I'm not going to say it all because we're going to talk about it. And she is the founder of Swift Shift Coaching. She lives in Cyprus and is originally from Lebanon. Welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Pauline Sawaya.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm very happy to be with you. And I hope it's going to be one of the most memorable podcasts.
If you enjoy my podcast,
I hope so.
So let's share and subscribe to my
you
channel.
And I are together, it
you
may
will find
actually
all the
be one of
information
those.
in the show
Exactly.
So you only appeared on the scene here in Cyprus about, I don't know, when did we meet? 2-3 years ago?
Yeah. Effectively, we met around 3 years ago. Yes, we met for 3 years.
When did you move to Cyprus? Because you used to live in Beirut.
Yes, I moved to Cyprus exactly 13th of August 2020.
So 4 years ago, yeah.
4 years ago. This summer is going to be 4 years ago. And I moved because of the biggest explosion that happened in Lebanon. But people think I moved because of that, but this is not reality. I'm effectively half Cypriot, half Lebanese. So my dad is Lebanese and my mom is Cypriot. I've lived all my life in Lebanon, and Lebanon is where my heart is and stays. So I moved to Cyprus. Effectively, I'm going to tell you something that nobody knows. I decided to move out of Lebanon. June 2020 was the D-Day that I said I have to leave this country before the explosion. Before the explosion. I decided because since 2019, we were struggling financially in terms of the economy in Lebanon, and they blocked all our money. Our currency devaluated 110% in no time. And it's like I said, okay, I can't sustain my business. I have to leave. Although deep down inside, I never wanted to leave Lebanon because this is where I built myself. This is where my family is and everything. But effectively, I'm a single mom, and my son now is 18. So when we moved to Cyprus, he was 14. So I spoke to him and we decided that it's time to move for my business. And this is what we did. I spoke to my cousins in Cyprus. I prepared everything. I was supposed to leave Lebanon August 3rd. 2 days earlier, they called me from the school here in Cyprus and they tell me you don't have to come because they extended the lockdown because of Corona. So you can delay another 2 weeks. And your son doesn't need exams from the grades. It's okay. He can join the classes. So I delayed till August 13th. And the plan was to start here in Cyprus something new, try it out. And on August 4th, the biggest explosion happened. And it was everybody, I think in Cyprus, you heard it as well.
We felt it. Yeah.
Yes, you felt it. And I received calls from Cyprus asking me if we are alive. And the explosion happened just across the street from my parents' house, effectively. So it was a very, very disastrous situation, which was the second, if I want to think about it, the second knockdown. The first knockdown is I've worked all my life. Money disappeared, nothing. Okay, believing that I have a vision, I can do it. Let me try and go. Second knockdown is the biggest explosion. And this is where all my belongings and everything that I had, I've left. I said, okay, I'm going to travel light with my son, and then I'm going to ship my stuff if everything goes well. And on August 4th, everything flies. So I was without anything, nothing. No clothes, nothing. it was the 2 bags that we packed for our light travels for 3-4 months. And my parents' building got hit very badly. And I can say, okay, they were also injured, and I couldn't get them into a hospital in Lebanon. So we traveled to Cyprus, and this is where they got their medical care, because in Lebanon it was impossible. The people who were admitted to the hospital, the one reason if they were bleeding. Other than that, no one was admitted because of the big, huge intensity of the explosion. People were not admitted to the unless you're, you know. So they got the medical care in Cyprus. I decided, okay, now it's time. Let's go. So we came here. The house that I rented was a very tiny house, not fit for a family of 4. And then my sister followed me in September. Because the situation in Lebanon was becoming unlivable, I told her to come. And 8 months later, I lose my dad in Cyprus because he was very sad that he couldn't go back to Lebanon. So it was another disaster happening, another goal happening in my life. So the reason I'm in Cyprus was to start over from scratch.
But it wasn't meant to be this way. That was before the explosion happened.
Yes, it was meant to come and experience Cyprus, if it is the place to be. And it turned out that it's a home that I have now.
Is it? Do you feel at home after these 4 years?
Yes, I feel at home. Cyprus
we have been nice to you, our coaching community, haven't we?
Definitely, definitely. I met amazing people like you. I've made some really cool and loving friends as well. It took me time to adjust. The first 2 years, I was, if you ask me how are you, I was invisible, unable to cope, if to say, but I was trying to rebuild the pieces that I left in Lebanon. But now I can say that a big part of me is rebuilt. Definitely, there is a big hole in my heart. But from this big hole, I get the strength. Always. This is the hole I see the light from.
That's amazing. And I think your story is one of millions of Lebanese people's stories. And if you ask me, from all the people that I know, and I know a lot, and I've studied a lot of people, I think the Lebanese people are the most resilient people I know in the world. They have had so much, and they never give up, and they never quit. Also, like joy, they are joyous despite all the shit. Sorry, we don't normally use that word here, but yes, that happens.
We use it a lot. So, and I said today, it's what a coincidence. I said today, sometimes shit happens for a shift to happen.
That's very, very true. That's a good one. You should trademark that one.
Yes, it's on my.
Tell me, what do you think is it that makes Lebanese people the way they are? Is it all the struggles that they've had? Is it the mentality? Because normally they are people who like to have fun.
Yes.
Is it in the water to become resilient, or is it just?
I think it's in the water and in the milk and in the upbringing that we have, because Lebanon has been struggling for ages, war after war, occupation after occupation, and economical situation that go really bad, and all of this. But at all times, even in the darkest times, we sing and dance.
Yeah.
Always. And sing and dance, not because some people do it out of denial, and it's a very different thing. I think we have a system that I call personally, it's a VBA, which is vision, belief, and activity. We always have a vision, and we always have a belief that no matter what happens, we're going to get out of it. This is what drives us. And this is why you see Lebanese all around the globe. And then Lebanese here in Cyprus, they're active. They're trying to do stuff because we believe that no matter how shitty it gets, we can make it. It's engraved in our minds that to have this faith and believe in ourselves that something will happen to shift it. something. And effectively, this is what happened, because even my plans were to travel on the 3rd, Elizabeth, but the fact that I stayed, I was able to bring my parents with me. If I was in Cyprus, I would have never been able to go back during COVID and bring 2 injured people with me. There was no way. So it was a blessing in disguise. Okay, it's the worst thing that could happen. But now that I look back, I see that really, if I haven't delayed, then they would have still been there. I don't know. I don't know what that
It's not, there's a reason for everything, isn't there? There's never ever any coincidence.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Lebanese are used to this, and they always get up. It's we have something beyond resilience. We have grit. We're passionate about life.
Yeah, I like that. I have always admired Lebanese people, and I have very good Lebanese friends. My very good friend Rima, who doesn't want to do a podcast episode with me, but
She will.
maybe I'll get her one day. But yeah, I watch it and I love it, and it's this joie de vivre, this joy to live. That's just in the DNA, I guess.
Yes.
So, Pauline, you are a lot of things, but you train people, you coach people, but not only in Cyprus, you go to different places. I know that you go to Dubai, you go to the Emirates, and you go to Saudi. How is how you do this in Arabic, don't you? No.
No. Effectively, people always ask me, Pauline, you go and train in Arabic, and I tell them, no, 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 no. People have this misconception that everything is in Arabic. Effectively, you will be surprised that the least language that you will hear is Arabic.
Because I always find, you see, my mother tongue is German, but I did all my coaching training and everything that I know when it comes to personal development, I did everything in English. And I find it very, very difficult to, even though German is my mother tongue, I find it difficult to explain these things in German. So that's why I was going to ask you, how did you manage to do that? But you didn't, you do it in English.
We do it in English, but definitely with Arabic. Definitely. It's a mix. Because, Lebanese, we say the good morning in 3 languages,
Yes, you say.
So even our good morning is in 3 languages. So it's easily we combine the English and Arabic together with French as well. But mainly because Dubai, Saudi, Jordan. Okay, Jordan have less expats. But if you think Saudi and the Emirates, they're full of expats, and every transactions, everything happens in English. When you have Arabic speaking people, definitely you speak Arabic. In Saudi, they prefer Arabic sometimes, because when you speak their mother language, there is a bond. You know that. It builds rapport. It feels like we're in this together. So yes, we use it, but not always, depending on who I'm training and all of this.
Fascinating, because I know I always joke about this. When you hear somebody speak 3 languages in one phrase, you usually know that they are Lebanese.
Yes.
That's you guys. So I want to talk a little bit about Saudi, because I'm fascinated by Saudi Arabia, because it is opening up to tourism. It's opening up to the world. It was totally misunderstood for many years, I believe. That's my belief. And I wonder if you will confirm that. People were not suppressed. People wanted to live like that, but I think they are also enjoying having more and more foreigners around. How do you see the opening of, I'm talking about tourism now more, of Saudi Arabia? How have you experienced the difference? Have you seen a difference in the years?
Definitely. You'll see a transformed Riyadh. You'll see they call it Rio now, because it's a totally transformed place, from the openness to the only thing that they're still working on is the infrastructure. So they opened up the country for everything, but still the roads you get stuck in hell of traffic in Riyadh, because the roads do not have the capacity, enough lanes to take all these people. But effectively, it's transformed from every aspect, in terms of tourism, in terms of education, everything. They're more open. They want people to come and experience Riyadh. Riyadh is a beautiful place with very nice nature. You have places that not everything is yet finished. It's all work in progress, but it's amazing. You will be amazed by the pace that it's going. If you go to Riyadh, let's say within 6 months, you will see a huge difference from when you were there to the next 6 months that you go. There are a lot of opportunities. People are very welcoming. They want to learn more. Already, they were Saudis are very educated people, very. They're all graduates of the best universities around the world. But it's now the as a community, now they're more open to open up the country and make it a different place. They have a visionary leader on board that has a very big vision for the country, and it is being implemented without delays. There's nothing that can stop them. And it's very intriguing to see that shift in such a short period of time. You wouldn't expect it, but it's a very good place for business and for tourism to see and to explore. It's amazing.
Yeah, because before we recorded, I was telling you about me very wanting to go to Saudi. I'm very, very keen on going to Saudi Arabia. And I am especially interested in the nature because I know that there are great hikes. There are great places to go hiking. Of course, the weather is also an issue. I mean, there are not really that many months where I could go hiking in Saudi. It
3 months.
3 months. But it's like, what is December, January, February, I would imagine, right?
December is cold, effectively.
Yeah.
So January, February, March.
Yeah.
Now it become very in October. It becomes to be acceptable, and then it gets really cold during December, November, December, because it's the desert cold that is really it goes to your bones.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
One wouldn't expect that, but I know that I've lived in Tunisia and in places where there's a desert nearby, and in Egypt. So yes, I know how cold it can get. Let's talk a little bit about what you do. Something with decoding, or what? There's something that I do not understand, even though I consider myself a highly trained coach. But
it's neuroencoding.
What is it called?
Neuroencoding.
What is neuroencoding?
Neuroencoding is encoding your brain to default to your best self always. It's like partly being Lebanese.
You mean like turning everybody into becoming Lebanese?
No. But the mind,
Yeah.
But it's whatever. It simplifies the concepts of life. It's a very simple process. It's not complicated. And when I was speaking about the mega in the conference that you attended, a big part of it was neuroencoding. It's very simple concepts that can transform a life and can change the way you think. So you always default to your best self, because always when something happens, Elizabeth, you have huge experience. People tend to default to their non-resourceful state immediately because problems arise. Now what? Why is it happening to me? And all of this. It doesn't mean you do not feel the fear. You feel the fear, but you snap out of it faster. So you program your mind in a way that no matter what happens, you see the possibility and you have a system, a process that takes you out of it. So it's about encoding your brain with the systems and processes to always default to your, we call it initial magnificence, which is how we were born, happy, joyful, full of energy, magnetic. People love us. People gravitate around us. All of these things, because we lose the spark while growing up. And neuroencoding gives you back this spark. And it's used everywhere. It's not only with individuals. We use it in companies as well. It assassinates the complexity of life effectively.
Amazing. And would you do this one-to-one, or do you do that in training courses? Or do you do both? Both.
I do both. And effectively in Cyprus, I am the only neuroencoder and the only one in Lebanon. There is one in Saudi. So in the Middle East, we're only two. me and another guy who's based in Saudi. And it's a very nice life-changing process, I think.
It
It's
sounds
me a
like
lot.
one, and it does sound a little bit like becoming Lebanese because it does makes you understand that no matter what happens, there is always a way out in a way, or basically it's saying you can never choose what happens, but you can always choose how to react to it.
Exactly. It's this, and people, the problem is, and I see it all the time, that people preach positivity. You have to be positive. You have to be. We cannot be positive. We're human beings. It's about seeing the possibilities in things, not the positivity. Because if I'm struggling, how can I be positive? How can you tell a person who's suffering, it's okay, be positive? They cannot be okay. They're struggling. It's just to shift this gear to a place where they could see the possibility out of it. Like, and I did this when after the explosion, and I went to my parents' building, and everything was next day. The first day it was a disaster. Next day, when I went to see what was left and there was nothing, the first question, when I stood there in shock and in pain and with heart pain, the second thing I did, I asked myself, now what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of asking why this, because
Yeah.
I don't have the question. I don't have the answer. Why
No,
this?
there is no answer. Nobody knows why things like that happen, but it's exactly what you're saying. Now, what am I going to do with this?
Exactly. And people tend to fall in why me, why is that, and all of this. And it's sad because we are human beings with so much potential that we stop. The biggest, if you ask me who stops you, it's nobody. It's the person you look at in the mirror every single day.
Yeah.
There's no one else that could stop you. No war, no explosion, no economic situation, nothing except you and what you say to yourself.
Yeah. Fantastic. So I'm going to have to look into that neuroencoding because it sounds very, very interesting.
It is.
Let's shift now, but it's called Swift Shift after all, because I will put your links in the show notes so people who are interested in getting in touch with you can find you. Everybody knows you here anyway, but people are listening to Most Memorable Journeys in 124 countries. So maybe somebody wants to get in touch with you and bring you there. You are willing to travel anywhere, aren't you?
Definitely. I love traveling like you do. And for me, every travel is an experience. Even if I'm going on a training or something, I learn a lot. I come back with loads of learnings. Not, yes, I train people on stuff. I share my knowledge, but I reload the learnings because every experience definitely is a learning. And traveling is one of the best universities in the world, I think.
Oh, it totally is. And it also makes you understand that you're completely unimportant. It makes you humble. It does. It does. Because when you are in a small place and you think you're so important, then you go out in the big world and you realize you're nothing. You're just a speck. What is your most memorable traveling? Where do you like to travel? Apart from work.
Mainly, I like places with sun. So wherever it's sunny and it's a good weather and I have the sea around me, I am a sea person. It's funny. I went with my son a month ago to Manchester. For a week, he wanted to attend a concert. So I went with him to see Manchester as well. And I told him, I can never live here. Because for me, not having the sun is something. He was very well and going around. And for me, I told him I need my vitamin sun. I need it. So for me, I enjoy in everywhere I go, even if it is for business, I go and explore what they have. And it's funny because when I travel to Dubai, my cousin lives there as well. And she tells me, Pauline, when you are here, I see things that I never think of visiting. And me, I live here. And I tell her, listen, we have to go there to see this and we have to go to see that. And she tells me, where is that? And she starts Googling. Because when you live in a country, you don't explore it a lot. Like when people come to Cyprus, sometimes I say, I did not go to this place until they came.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's for work, for me, any place that adds to the culture, know-how, to where I meet people, where it's sunny, where it's a place where I believe
Mm-hmm.
very good. And one of my best travels is when I went to Italy. I loved it.
Did you
I
enjoy Italy? But the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because personally, I absolutely love the Middle East. I believe that in a previous life, I was there somewhere, because what I also love is the food. Do you cook?
and you want the truth or the politically correct?
I want the truth. Oh,
I cook out of the box stuff. So I create my own stuff. My mom is the one who does the traditional Lebanese food, not me. My sister is a very good cook, and my brother-in-law is a very good cook. So I don't have to cook. I don't need to
but you
use.
do enjoy the beautiful dishes that the Middle East offers.
Yes, it's I love it, and I think we have the best in Lebanon. The food is very tasty. It's healthy as well, and there is a huge variety of dishes.
The
You go.
colors and the spices and the colors and everything. I absolutely love it. And I also remember what I wanted to say now, because what I wanted to say is that I watch people when I travel, and so many people are not interested in anything. They go to a conference and the conference ends at 5 o'clock or whatever. And then they go and sit in their hotel room. And that's something that I never understood, because when you go to these places, it gives you the opportunity to get to know a place, and you don't have time. I mean, okay, sometimes you don't. It depends what kind of conference you go to, but mostly, or at a day and enjoy the place that you go to. I have never understood people who do not take advantage of the places that they go to for work. And you may say, okay, I don't have time, or I'm not allowed, or whatever, but I think it should be arranged.
Definitely. I always make sure I arrive one day earlier in all cases. I never arrive on the day or like a couple of hours earlier, never. And I leave the minimum a day later. So I have some time in between, whether before or after, I'll always have time, because it doesn't make sense if you go and you can be online. If you're only there to listen to the speeches or whatever, then do it online. And now all the conferences do live streaming. So why do they go through the process of traveling and all of this? I totally agree with you. When you go to a place, you need to get to know the place.
Yes. And understand. I also believe that doing business with the people from a place, it becomes much easier when you know the mentality a little bit, when you know how they function, how they click, how things are. And I think this is what fascinates me in the world, is even though we are all the same, we all have the same needs, there are differences, mentality differences.
Definitely, because everybody sees it from their own perspective. But let's take it, if you're going to do a training in Saudi, Elizabeth, okay, and you have no idea what they eat, what has happened, what has changed, how do they speak, how do they dress. You did not spend some time in the surrounding to feel the feelings. It's like use your senses, all your senses, not just okay, I go and check in my fancy hotel and that's it. It's not about that, because this hotel, you can see it everywhere. The chains are the same everywhere when you travel. So effectively, when you explore the country and then you meet the people, you make a better connection. And it's all about building rapport. It's all about building rapport. And building rapport is exploring and being curious about people. What do you do? What do you like? What do you eat? How your life was before? How is it now? How are you accommodating to the changes? How does it feel? All these things, they are like that.
I love that. I love that. I had an experience in Jordan a few years ago. We were in Petra and we were going up all that hill to the sanctuary, or I think something it's called. And I couldn't be bothered anymore. I was too tired. My friends went and I sat on the floor I sat on a rock, and there was this lady with a souvenir stall, you know, those ones that are stuck on the.
Yes,
And
definitely.
she called me over, and I thought, oh no, she's going to want to sell me something now. And I thought, oh, never mind. I went and talked to her, and she was making tea on on this wood stove. And she said, would you like a tea? And I said, yeah, yes, please. And we started talking, and we started talking about our children, about our problems, about what we cook, about this. We're friends on Facebook now. and,
See, you made a friend.
yeah, but it's because we are the same. You know, we have things in common, but you have to, but you say it's rapport. You have to connect with people and be interested in people as well, how they live, what they do. And then you actually find out that they have exactly the same problems like we have.
And exactly. And if you think about it, all the problems in the world, and you just said it, I know so many people with the same problems and all of this. It's just everybody is living the same experience differently, but at the core, it's the same. Whether be it pandemic, whether be it war, whether be it whatever struggle, let's call it struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is living it their way. So we have so much in common. We have so much in common. And if we are curious and we try to meet people, because really what stops us is what you said is she's going to sell me something, so you were not in the mood of buying something now, and it stops you from talking to her, but you were courageous enough to say, yes, I will talk to her anyways. And people really, how many times, if they ask themselves, how many times did I stop myself from a potential something, friendship, opportunity, anything
Mm-hmm.
that could have started by a simple hello and how are you and a smile. And really, what amazes me sometimes, and that you smile at people and they don't smile back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm just smiling. I don't need anything from you, really. I'm just telling you, I love to smile. And they look at you as if, what do you want? I don't want anything. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
smiling.
But don't you think that's got to do with the fact that the world has become so fast and so harsh that we're afraid to smile? They think that if you smile at somebody, it's because they want something, like I did. And that's wrong. We have to sort of, overcome that thinking and connect with people, because very often those are the most beautiful conversations.
Yes. Yes. That's totally true. That's totally true. But even if the circumstances are harsh, a smile doesn't cost anything.
No.
It just, I work on my veranda every day, and I work early morning, like 6:30. And there is this old lady that passes every day. And sometimes she sees me very busy on my laptop and working. So she says the good morning, but lower voice. And she tells me, I did not want to disturb you, but I want to tell you hello, because I start my day differently because you smile at me and we smile at each other. See this, I don't know her. I don't know even where she lives. She just walks by. I see her every single day and we smile at each other. And that's it. There's no further conversation.
And that makes you a beautiful person. And this is what the world needs more of. And unfortunately, very often it doesn't have. Now we're already quite far. I want to sort of maybe get out of you. What is your favorite thing to do in Dubai when you're not working? Because lots of people who are listening have been to Dubai or will go to Dubai. If somebody, I mean, we all know lots of stuff to do. Do you have any secret tip to do what to do in Dubai?
It depends on for me, really, it's when I go to Dubai, it's about reconnecting with my friends and my family and all of this. So it's always about trying something that is new now. Like every time you go to Dubai, there is something that started. Like I went the last time we went to Yas Island, and it was amazing. So every time you go and there is something new, that before you go, research what is the latest thing in Dubai and go and do it, because ice skating and all these things, they're enclosed. I don't go to the mall unless I have something to buy. But I prefer the outdoors, and it depends on the weather as well, Elizabeth. When are you going to Dubai?
That's very true, because there
Yes,
are
it
many
depends on
not
that.
go
And what
out.
do you enjoy? Some
Yeah,
people would love to go and see the big aquarium in the mall. Others would like to go and swim with the dolphins. It depends. It depends on.
so
If you ask
yeah,
me
and I
what is
mean,
the favorite place in Lebanon, I will tell you.
what is your favorite place in Lebanon?
It's Jaita Grotto. This is
Oh, I
a
know
must
that. I
see.
love that.
Yes, this is a must see for anyone who goes to Lebanon. They should not miss that. This is something really that should be seen. It was one of the seven wonders of the world, nominated to be one of them.
That is very true. Very beautiful. Do you go to Lebanon? How often do you go to Lebanon now?
I go every 3 to 4 months to get my oxygen and come back.
To keep your lifeline going.
My lifeline now is Cyprus because this is where my family is, my mom, my sister, and my son. But I go because it's my friends, my other half of the family, and it's the place where really I
Home.
it's home.
Yeah.
Cyprus is home too, I really, and I'm very, very grateful and blessed to be in Cyprus. And I say it all the time. Thank God that we had a place to be, and Cyprus was very welcoming. And I learned a lot during these 4 years. You know, when you travel and you move to countries, you filter stuff, you filter people, you filter a lot of experiences, and only the few that matter stay. And this is a very big learning for me that sometimes you have so many people in Lebanon. If I go, I'll in no time I'll have 25 people sitting with me and chatting and all of this, but you filter people and you know really who is there to stay. And this is a
Yeah.
very important thing. And the new people that you never thought that could become your close friends and stuff. It's all about the experience and how you see it. But Lebanon for me is something that I would never leave. I would never go back and live. This for sure. This for sure. I would never go back to live in Lebanon, but I will go and visit very often. And every 3 to 4 months, I'm there.
And
And
thank
I
God
have
it's not.
business there as well.
And thank God it's only a 20 minutes flight. We're just across
Yes.
the Mediterranean Sea. Pauline, Sawaya, what's next? We are coming to the end. Any plans, any fascinating plans that you want to share with us?
A very big coaching school is coming to Cyprus. So, you know, there are a lot of plans coming. And now, you know, I travel a lot and I've decided that now it's time to establish something in Cyprus as well. I know my company is established, but my presence here is, you know, in the events and stuff. But now something is coming to Cyprus. So I'm creating something. It will be announced soon. I'll keep it till, but it's something big for the island. Traveling as well, definitely, and meeting more people, empowering more people. This is the mission I'm in, and that's it mainly.
Beautiful. It's like a cliffhanger. It's like the thing at the end of an episode of a series. Something is coming, but we're not saying yet what.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and we will
Yes.
update you as soon as we are ready. Thank you so much for being on Most Memorable Journeys, Pauline Sawaya.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It was a real pleasure.
If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.